Hi, I'm David Hardy, and in this video I'm going to give an example of what I consider to be the best external microphone solution for the E4K Plus and also the best settings to put it into. Okay, so simply put, this video is going to demonstrate the microphone that I think is the best option to plug into a E4K Plus, and that microphone is the Comica VM10. Now, the reason why I say this is because if anybody's seen any of my videos about all the Yee stuff that I've done, they'll know that I've been extremely frustrated by trying to find the best solution for an external microphone for the 4K Plus. Now, here's the thing, the Comica just happens to be the one without any kind of cable modifying to do with attenuation and stuff that seems to work the best. And the setting that I've got is just the Yee set, obviously to external, but also I've got it in low mode. Then what happens is after I kind of get in and like do my editing and stuff, I just bring that level back up again in post, because if you were to put it in high mode, it definitely will distort too much. Now, don't get me wrong, it still will peak and do the odd bits of distortion. It's a little bit hissy and stuff, but unfortunately, as I've gone through with like a ton of videos, this is exactly what the E4K Plus does. So what I'm doing is trying to find the best compromise to get at least something that can like reproduce decent dialogue, but also, doesn't, distort too much or isn't too hissy and stuff like that. And as far as I'm concerned, I think I've come up with the most bang-on solution that I possibly can find at the moment. And believe me, I've tested tons and tons of options for doing this. Yeah, so right now, what it is, it's the Comica VM10 and it's in low mode. Now, the other thing as well, I'm also using a modification on the camera at the moment, which allows me to bump up the bit rate for the audio. Now, I'm not going to go into that right now. There will be another video going up shortly after this one to explain to people how to do that. And I will also I'll upload a file somewhere where you can download that to do the, which you load onto the SD card, which then kind of reprograms the sampling bit rate when you insert the card on power up on the Yee. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm just explaining that I've done it, but I will do a video explaining how to do it, and I'll also have a file that you can download to do that as well. And in that video, I'll also go through the links to the website you can go to get that, because there's one chap who specifically has been doing a lot of work with bit rates and such for the 4K and the 4K Plus. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but when I do the actual bit rate video and whatnot, I'll give you all the links and this chap's name and everything, because like what he's done's an amazing job. Anyways, yeah, so basically this is just a bit of a dialogue example on like how this microphone sounds with the 4K Plus. And like I say, anybody who's used one of these will actually know that they're not that good with external microphones. So hopefully this is going to be something that people will like. Now, the other thing that I've done here as well, the USB to 3.5mm audio cable that you use to connect the microphone, I've basically cut that down and put a 3.5mm jack on the end, just so it can plug straight in the microphone, so I'm not using long trailing cables and stuff like that. So that, you can see that as a modification if you like, but it's nothing to do with trying to make like the audio better or anything. It's just the convenience of having a short cable going from the side of the Yee straight into the back of the microphone. Okay, so this should be a good enough example right now. Now, the other thing is actually I've got a bit of a breeze going on, and I've only got the foam filter on at the moment. I've actually come out without the dead cat, so hopefully this foam filter is handling this breeze okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep this video short, because this amount of dialogue that I've done so far should easily be enough for people to get a gauge as to whether or not this sounds appreciably different than what they may be used to when they plug an external microphone into the E4K Plus. But what I'm going to do now is switch over to something which I found even more better than this. So to the burning question of the day, just what could be much more better than having a decent external microphone attached to your E4K Plus? Well, as that camera will show us over there, doing the whole thing on a 3-axis gimbal. Now, what it is right now, I'm using a smooth cue for doing this. Now, usually what would happen with, in scenarios like this, what you would end up having to do is either like attach a rosette or something to the side of the actual handle of the actual like gimbal. and then connect the mic to that. Or sometimes you could connect the microphone to the bottom of the gimbal to like a 1/4-20 or something like that. Now, although they will work, they're not the most flexible ways of doing it, because unfortunately what happens there is the microphone won't always be following where the lens is pointing at. So as a for instance, if I was tracking a person as a for instance like that, and then kind of like following their dialogue with them, unless the microphone is like kind of like, you know, pointing with the lens, it's just not going to do that properly. So basically what I've done here is managed to find a way of getting the microphone to stay on top of the camera and have it balanced. Again, because I want to keep this video short, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but what I will do is be following this up very soon with another video on how to do this with a number of microphones. This microphone, obviously the Comica, then there's the Rode, and then there's the Boya, and also it will do the same thing with smartphones as well. Okay, so like I say, I wanted to keep this all short and just give like a couple of like, you know, little examples of this thing happening. So hopefully this is going to be helping people. Anyways, I'm going to get off before I run with the risk of running into the territory of rambling, which I so often do. So the last thing that remains for me to say right now is thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.